This morning, a rally was held at the State House with people pushing Massachusetts lawmakers to pass a new housing equity bill. It calls for landlords to give more information about a tenant's rights before moving to evict them.
And the federal ban on evictions is set to expire tomorrow, and Congress is considering a last-minute effort to extend it for the rest of the year. But passing it before the deadline, that'll be a long shot. Boston 25 Washington correspondent Samantha Manning tells us critics say this was put together too late to work.
Lawmakers started to draft legislation to extend the eviction moratorium yesterday. Supporters say it's essential to help millions of renters, but critics say a plan should have been passed sooner.
Hello.
It's a last-minute push to keep the federal eviction ban in place.
We have to get this done.
I sat down with Florida Congresswoman Val Demings, a co-sponsor of the legislation to extend the eviction moratorium through the end of the year.
When Americans are in trouble, it's our job to help them.
But the proposal is facing criticism from Republicans.
This issue could and should have been resolved weeks ago.
They argue the bill doesn't address that the Supreme Court signaled the CDC can no longer step in to extend the nationwide moratorium.
The reason this bill simply extends the unlawful order is because it was written last night.
Housing experts say the situation is dire for millions of renters.
This is going to most directly affect communities of color, the most vulnerable, and working families.
I spoke with Jeff Lee, a public policy strategist. He says another big concern is that less than 7% of the roughly $47 billion allocated for rental assistance has actually been given out to those who need it.
Some of that federal money expires and turns into a pumpkin. And this is going to be at a time where you're going to see massive groups of people potentially get evicted.
Lawmakers behind the push to extend the eviction ban say that extra time can help renters and landlords access that rental assistance aid.
No one planned COVID, but our response as leaders is everything.
And even if this extension passes in the House, it's unlikely to pass in the Senate before the deadline. I'm Samantha Manning, reporting from the Washington News Bureau.